There are two main common themes that I've noticed is Kiyosaki's book, and this is his way of simplifying complex financial stuff. And on the other side, you have storytelling ability. So, but today I don't want us to focus on any of that. Today, I'd like us to go even further than just the storytelling of the simplification of complex stuff. And that is what today's session is about. It's about my three elite takeaways. So for me, like it's a book, I have so many takeaways from it, but today I've done my best to reduce it to only three elite takeaways. So the three top takeaways that I have from why a student work for C students. So welcome to the elite book review session, and this is a series that I started so that I can recap the book that I have read through the years, the books that have contributed to who I am today. And this is every Monday, so I'll be doing this until I reach the books that I have reached currently, and then when I reach that point, maybe it will stop until I read the other book. So that is what this books review session is about. So it is about the books which have contributed to who I am today, and how the book has shaped who I am, and the main takeaways that I have from each specific book. So I'm the founder and CEO of NK Elite, and NK Elite it's an agency which is focused on two things. So the first one is marketing, and then the second one is grant writing. So marketing is about copywriting and email marketing. Then on the other hand, fundraising is all about grant writing. Now back to Kiyosaki's book. So the three takeaways that I have from Robert Kiyosaki's book. So this is the why students work for C students. So the first thing is to Kiyosaki makes it clear in who is the what he means by the student, what he means by the C student, and what he means by the C student. So the A student is the academic, the B student is as the bureaucrat, so, and now the C student is as the capitalist. So the A student, so these are the academic. So for Kiyosaki academics are mostly the people who do well in school. So the people who learn best by lectures and by reading. Now also by not making mistakes. Now Kiyosaki sees academics mostly end up being employees. Now in case they are not employees, they end up self-employed or creating a small business so that they can be their own boss. So that is academics now. And then you have the bureaucrat. So the bureaucrat now, this one are different, and now they're different in the way that they are wired. So this mostly they work for the government. Now in case you put them in a company now, their job is mostly to maintain things as they are. So when you put them in a company, it's more about maintaining status quo. So they're good at maintaining the system that the company has. Now the students mostly have one thing in common, especially for the ones that work in the government. And this is that they are very good at spending money, at allocating money, spending it. They're very good at that, but in terms of creating that money, they're not that good. And now that is because the money is already created for them in terms of using the government. And now because that the taxpayers' money. The other thing about bureaucrats is that we don't like taking responsibilities. And in terms of companies, the way it shows up is that shows up in terms of cooperation. So in cooperation now, in case something bad happens, so now this reminds me of like something that ended up surprising everyone, but in a shocking way. So like at this time that KLM ended up trading squirrels. I think there were 300 or 400 of them, and when an investigation was done into this, at the end of the day, the conclusion was that no one had made a mistake because everyone had followed the rules. And for me, I find this very disturbing because now, for me, my idea is that if you're going to make a decision, you should take responsibility for that decision. So that is, if it goes well, you'll get the prize, but if it goes wrong, you'll be the one on the hook. But what happens is bureaucrats is that no one wants to take responsibility. So want to make the decision, but don't want to take into responsibility, and that is the issue with the bureaucrat now. Third and final one now, these are the capitalists. So the capitalists are the entrepreneurs. So these are people who they start businesses, they create partnership with the sole aim of solving problems. So these are problems in the community, problems in the country, problems in the regions, problems even sometimes even problems in the whole world. So these are the people who now are very resourceful, and now they are the people who take risk and they take responsibility for their decisions and how they spend money. Now that is the main difference between the bureaucrats and the others. So the employees they're just there to make the system work. So they're just there to execute on what is given to them. But for the entrepreneur, they create that system and they come up with solution to the problems that are already there. In terms of comparison to the bureaucrat, the entrepreneurs now take responsibility for their decisions and responsibility for how they spend money. So that is the main difference between the two. The second takeaway is the four quadrants. So these are the four quadrants in the finance one. Now, the first one is the employees. So the employee quadrant, which is are the people who work for money. So it's the people who have a job and at the end of the month, at the end of the week, they're paid money. So work specifically for the money. And now, the thing about employees is that the main entrance is the amount of tax that they pay according to their income. So they end up paying about 40% of the tax, 40% tax on their income. So that is one of the main drawbacks for the employees. The second quadrant now, this is the self-employed quadrant or the small business quadrant. So these are the people who are very independent and now they want to do things their own way. And now what they end up doing is that because they start a sole corporation, so this is whereby they are the only person in that corporation. So like if it is a doctor or a lawyer, it is only them in the company and now it's have everyone else. Now on the other hand you have the small business. So it's the business that is small and now by being small now what end up happening is that they are not big enough to receive tax advantages. And the main issue is this quadrant is that you are in this quadrant, you are taxed double. So the first one is you are taxed like ordinary income. So this is like you are taxed like an employee. And now the second one is that you are taxed the business tax because now you are not big enough to receive tax advantages. And now, so at the end of the day, the employee tax is 40%, and then the business tax is around 20%. So at the end of the day, you realize that on your income, you are being taxed about 60%. So me, I find that to be a very high tax. And so we move on to the third quadrant now. The third quadrant now, this is about the business owner. So this now, the way to think about this is in terms of big business. So it's a business which has at least at least 500 employees. So this is a big business now. When it is taxed now, it is taxed as a business. So it is only taxed 20%. So that is one of the main advantages about this. The second one is that if you own a big business, it doesn't require you to spend most of your time there, or even doesn't require you to be involved too much because now what you want is a system, and now with that system now it enables you to tap into other people's time. So these are the employees, academics, and also it also allows you to tap into other people's time. So other people's time now is in terms of the employees, self-employed. Now, I think I mix it up. So it is other people's time and other people's money. So other people's money now, this in terms of money from the bank. So this the money that people have deposited into the bank. So you go there, you take a loan, put it in the business, and then you pay it back. The other one is from money from the investor now. So this can be private or in the way that it's structured. So you get their money, you get other people's time, and now you bring it into a system. And now, by that, now you end up generating something for everyone who is involved in it. So that is that quadrant. Now, the fourth quadrant. Now, this is investors quadrant. And now, this one is about the science of money making money. So, these are the people now who gives their money to who put their money into the business now. So in terms of our quadrants here, so the people who put their money into a business, and now when they do that, the money ends up generating money without requiring them to spend their time or to spend their resources. So the only resource they spend is only their time in evaluating, and then after that, it's only their money that is on the hook. So they're not themselves on the hook. So that is the main advantage about this one, like that, which it gives you the ability to put your money somewhere, and then your money end up generating cash flow without you being presently involved in it. So that is the second takeaway, and now that is about the four quadrants. Now the third and final one, and now this is the most crucial, especially in our world today, whereby we have the AI revolution, and it's because that takeaway is about finding your genius. Now, so in the book, it is very much a way to help your child to find his or her genius, but it can also be a way for you to find out your genius in case you haven't find out found out what your genius already is. So now your genius is the things that you are exceptional at, that for you it kind of comes like for you feel that it is so easy, but other people looking at it from the other people doing it, like for them it is very hard to do. So that is now you are a genius. Now the key about this is once you know what you are a genius in, so once you know that, it is more about becoming a master in it. Now, when you become a master now, that is where now talking about AI now is become very crucial because when you combine mastery and AI now, you end up being very competitive in the new AI world. So AI storm once the AI storm is over, it will be in a very strong position to be valuable in the AI world once everything else has been commoditized, because now you come in as a master, now you bring insight that the AI doesn't have. Now the other thing about your genius is that when there are all these things like when everyone is worried about what AI will do to their job or something like that, for you are not worried because for you it is more about finding a way of bringing AI into what you are already a master in. And now, when you already know this is your genius and you have reached a mastery level, what happens is that you're not afraid of any changes that may happen. For you, it is more about aligning yourself with the change that is happening and then finding a way to be competitive, like finding a way to get your edge in that change. So, for example, if it is in this AI world, so by going in with that mentality that I'm not afraid of this, but I'm going there, I'm looking at this as opportunity. So you're not looking at AI as a threat, but as an opportunity to be better in terms of how you deliver your mastery. So when you come with that mindset now, it is very easy to capitalize. And if you go there with a clear mindset whereby you are afraid that you lose your job because of AI. So those are my three takeaways from the Robert Kiyosaki's book. So this is why A students work for B students. So those are my three main takeaways. Now I would recommend this book if you are a parent. Now I know that those of you will say I came, I'm not a parent, so do I still have to read this book? And the answer is yes. So especially if you have not found your genius yet, like this book will give you like a process of how you can go about that process and can find what your genius is, can become a master in it, can now start work on it to become a master, and then by doing that now, it will put you in a better position, especially in this AI revolution. So that's all I had for you today, and I'll see you next week when I now begin covering the books of Florence Covel Shin. So I'll start that next week and I'll see you then. So go check out this book and let me know in case you have already read it. Let me know in the comment what takeaways you have got from this book. And I'll see you next week. So bye bye. Bye.